All right, let's start this off, y'all.
The Broke Otaku podcast is brought to you by The Littlest Sweatshop. Hey kids, in these desperate fucked up times, child labor is surging across the globe. Ready to find out where all your friends went? A little desensitization now will save you a lot of pain later. So start bugging your parents about The Littlest Sweatshop today. Get an inside look at the tragic yet necessary life of a child laborer. We should know they're based on our assembly line. Is that little boy crying? No, silly. He's just bursting with pride. That $1.50 he earns every day will increase his family's income by nearly 50%. Our line of toys and indoctrination supplements oversimplifies the narrative, making it easy to swallow that pill and bury it deep. Or as we like to say, little hands, big profits. Littlest Sweatshop. Let your sadness out to play.
Welcome to the Broke Otaku podcast. My name's AJ. With me is Marcus, a.k.a. Rock Lobster Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Rock Lobster.
I mean, you did it for me, so that works. Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, everyone.
No, do it again. Do it again, because I want to hear him get mad. You ruined it. It's supposed to be you say it, and then he gets mad that he has to do something about this thing that he hates. It was recently discovered that Marcus hates the B-52s.
Yeah, I only know 2 of their songs, and they're both bullshit.
Is it those 2 songs?
It's Love Shack, and then, is that the one, like, everybody's on the beach holding hands, or, like, whatever?
I
Yeah.
guess so. I don't really, all I know about Rock Lobster.
Everybody has matching towels.
Yeah, God.
But it wasn't a rock. It was a Love Shack, baby.
Oh, God.
The Rock Lobsters.
There's no voice that's ever made me want to, like, spin kick somebody to the chin any harder than that one. Like, everybody.
What do you mean? Can't I sing for
It's
you?
like, don't talk like that, you dork. Like, are you trying to be, what's happening right now? Nobody's in your love
Everybody
shack.
loves my voice.
Like,
come hear me sing.
Like, can you
la 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 la?
Can you even imagine that dude having a love shack? Like,
He's
who's
not even
banging that guy? Let me tell you, somebody
He's
imaginary.
the king of incels, man.
Take
He's
it
just
off,
like,
baby.
Hey, baby,
Oh, God.
come have sex with me in my love shack.
That can't be. I'm not gay, but that has to be the least attractive thing that you could say
Yeah.
to any woman.
Who the hell says come back to my love shack either? Like, why do you have a love that just sounds like the FBI needs to raid it.
It was cool in the 80s or in the 90s when
Hey, there was a song in the early aughts, maybe. It was called Sex Room, and it was like, come into my sex room.
God.
That sounds like
It was like
metal
it
hairband
was
music.
like a creepy R&B song, like R. Kelly level of creepage.
Well, that
It
sounds
might've-
right. Because, all like fucking 90s, 2000 R&B's just like super, super uber, not even suggestive. Just
it's just blatant.
You know, now we have wet ass pussy, which is like, all right, well, yeah, we're just saying it now.
Yeah, we're out of creative names for it. Let's just call it what it is.
No, yeah.
Oh, and Alan's here, aka Castletron.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Executing Drawbridge Protocol. That's a horrible name, man. I can't do anything with that.
he knew it was bad when he put it.
Yeah, AJ was like, oh, that's good. I'm like, shut up.
It's good enough. All right,
He didn't
let's
say
get
it
the
was
show.
good. He said it was good enough.
It's already late, and we haven't even
All
started.
right, let's
so
keep it
start.
under an hour. Can we even do it?
No.
Nope.
I mean,
All right, I got a game for you guys, and it's the anime whatever name game, something stupid. Make it up yourself. I don't care. Here's the twist.
that's my favorite game.
I'm gonna give you a title, and you're gonna give me a brief.
Every time you
briefest
say
of
brief,
briefs.
you add a word.
Synopsis of what you think it's about. Here's the twist. I'm not going to give you the entire title. I'm going to give you most of the title, and then I'm going to give you options for one of the words.
That sounds
So
real
I'm gonna
complicated.
it's not too complicated. So you pick the word that you think completes the title, and then you give me a synopsis for it. It'll make sense when we play it.
Okay, Marcus goes first.
Man.
And then I'll give you the real title and the real synopsis. All right, here's the first one. Cherry magic. 30 years of blank can make you a wizard. Actually, that's a question mark. 30 years of blank can make you a wizard? Is it A, reading, B, virginity, or C, gaming?
Well, it's gaming or virginity. I don't know which one. Am I trying to actually get it right, or am I just picking?
I'll give you a fake bonus point if you get it right.
All right. 30 years of gaming, because every goddamn manga is about gaming now. Or a world that game is like based on gaming. You have to like level up and like court a demon princess to summon to fight all your battles.
I would have said virginity.
Yeah, so that's basically it. It's about this dude who's like 35 and he's been playing video games all the time since he was 5 years old. Man, fuck that. And anyway, what is it? Cherry Blossom, 30 years of gaming?
Cherry Magic, 30 years of blank can make you a wizard? I keep forgetting it's a question mark at the end.
Okay, yeah, so he like has to get, he doesn't have a summon, so he has to get a summon, but he has to buy one, and he buys Cherry, which is like this little cute girl summon that he's like fawning over all the time. And it's about the adventures of that and him being like old and creepy with this like cute little cherry wizard girl.
All right, cherry wizard girl in the gaming world. Alan, what's your guess?
So we're both doing the same one.
Unless, I mean, I can flip-flop them. I don't care.
Okay, Cherry Blossom, 30 Years of Virgin. Ryoku is in middle school. But he's 30 years old because he's just failed so many times because he's always simping over the girls instead of doing his schoolwork. And one day he gets so frustrated that he has like an aneurysm, but it's a magical aneurysm because anime. And it gives him magical powers. And now every time he gets really like frustrated and horny, he can cast spells. So it's a struggle to stay frustrated when the demons show up. So we can sling spells and fight them off. 30 Years of Virgin, cherry power.
Right on.
Is that cherry like...
That was longer than me, I'd just like to point out.
I think it was.
I would agree.
But...
Okay, so it's cherry magic. 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard? Adachi, a 30-year-old virgin, discovers he has the magical power to read the minds of people he touches. Unfortunately, the ability just makes him miserable since he doesn't know how to use it well. And to make matters worse, when he accidentally reads the mind of his very competent, handsome colleague, Adachi discovers the guy has a raging crush on none other than Adachi himself. Things are about to get very awkward.
Ooh, gay.
Bit of comedy yaoi there. Okay, that's cool.
Comedy yaoi. Yep. So Alan guy, I guess, gets the +1 for the virginity thing, and I don't, whatever. Let's just go to the next one.
You just don't remember what either one of us said, so you don't want to rank it.
Maybe. All right, here's the next one. Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Blank. Is it A, stone, B, time, or C, notebook? Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Stone, time, or notebook. I see Marcus shaking his head. That's funny. Yes, it's not what you probably think it should be. Alan, why don't you go first this time?
Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Notebook is about Peter Grill, who one day steps into a puddle thinking it's going to splash and have a good time and make fun for him. But it turns out it's a portal into the demon realm. And while he's falling through a chasm of flame, he sees a notebook floating next to him, so he grabs it and reads it. And now he gets all the ladies and the guys too. He gets them all.
All right.
Gotta catch 'em all.
All the ladies. Is it a harem anime then?
Sure.
Okay. Marcus.
Time, Notebook, and Stone.
Yep.
I mean, it's not time. That don't even make sense. The Philosopher's Time. I'm going with Notebook too. Peter Grills and the whatever the shit. This is about a kid that like looks like he's Harry Potter, but he's not. And everybody thinks he's Harry Potter, and it keeps fucking up his whole life because they always want to like get autographs and pictures with him.
Teach me to play Quidditch.
And he's always trying to break the law when they do it. So he's never able to like do all the things he's doing, like breaking and entering and stealing and all that stuff.
Is he a kid?
I don't know.
Like, okay.
He just be taking stuff. It don't matter.
How old is he? Shut
No,
up.
I mean, like, is he like young Harry Potter or like adult Harry Potter?
Does it matter?
Like, people.
They just
Okay,
think he's
I
Harry
guess
Potter.
not.
He got the glasses, and then he has a birthmark that looks like an S, but everybody's stupid and they think it's a lightning bolt, and it's like, no, you dumb bitch, it's an S.
I fell on a stove when I was a kid.
Fell on the stove.
Because there are all those stoves out there with.
We had one of those floor ovens, and I fell right on it.
We had one of
right
those S ovens, you know.
S is for super hot. Anyway.
That's what it's about.
Okay. You're both wrong. It is Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time.
Oh, come on.
That doesn't even make sense.
That's annoying.
I agree. It does not make sense, but it is what it is. Upon winning a fighting tournament and being crowned the world's strongest warrior, Peter Grill discovers a downside to his newfound fame. Women of all species, from ogres to elves, are scrambling over each other for his seed to ensure they have the strongest babies possible.
Oh, my goodness.
Poor Peter just wants to settle down with his lovely, dovey fiancée, but he'll have to outmatch, outwit, and outrun a harem of very determined monster girls to do so.
Hold up. I thought we already did this one. I thought this was like, can't you have sex with a monster hoe or something like that?
I mean, it was probably very similar,
Yeah,
but it was not called Peter Grill.
They are not,
But
it's
no,
not
it's
the most original thing you've ever.
It's the exact same premise.
I'm not going to
I don't-
argue that it's the exact same premise.
Okay,
It
somebody
probably
ripped
is.
somebody else off because that's such a dumb premise that
I
you
do-
can't accidentally come up with that in parallel to somebody else.
But Peter Grill won the fighting tournament.
I was going to say that.
to become the world's strongest warrior, like Goku.
I
It's like Dragon Ball meets Monster Girls, whatever.
I was going to say I don't remember ever hearing this, but I do remember you using the word seed at one point, and that stuck with me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the
I
same
probably
thing.
did.
I do. There was like demon seed or something, and I was just like,
And can we
okay.
stop referring to
We're
it
here.
as seed?
I mean, tell the writers, man.
Like,
the
this
real
is- we're
synopsis.
not-
I'm
we're
not
not
over here
in the-
saying seed.
We're not in the
I'm
dark
pulling
ages.
these straight off of the synopsis pages of. Actually, I just go to Write Stuff and I pull off the description for whatever the first volume is.
I know,
for
but this ain't the Bible, man. This ain't Babylonia or some shit. Like, nobody says
Well, what else
seed
are you gonna
anymore.
say?
Like, try to have his kid. They want his kid.
No,
Oh,
they need his
well.
seed before they can have the kid.
That's gross.
Well, maybe the monster
Look,
combination.
you
they don't
phase
call 'em
these things
kids.
out. You know, they used to bash
the reason
babies'
nobody
heads
says.
on walls in ancient times. We
Okay.
phased that out.
It didn't need to know that. Didn't need to be
I
reminded.
didn't need to know that either.
and
but
that has
okay.
nothing to do with using the word seed.
Seed is in the Bible, and baby bashing is in the Bible.
We say semen now. Okay, we say sperm. We say cum. We don't.
That's
say
only
seed.
in science class.
Well, you can't say have a kid because, like, you know, how, like a baby horse is called like a colt, and like a baby child is called like a baby human. I don't know what it's called.
What's a baby demon?
What if it's a
hybrid?
monster? Yeah, maybe they got different.
Hey,
name,
man,
like a
you can say kid. Don't care what you're talking about right now. You can say kid.
nope.
Anyway,
All right,
Moving
who
on.
wins
I'll
that?
give that
we
one
both got
to
it wrong.
whatever,
Who do you
whatsoever.
like better?
Crap. I don't remember either one of
S-
these. I think it
S-
was.
Stove
Puddle, column of
and-
fire.
Yeah, puddle and then get the thing. I like the Harry Potter concept, even though it kind of made no sense. So I
It had nothing to do with notebooks either.
It would kind of be fun to watch an anime that was like people think he's Harry Potter, but he's really just a criminal.
I did like the criminal, like he's trying to. It gets in the way of his criminality.
That would be very entertaining. All right, the next one. Hensuki, are you willing to fall in love with a blank as long as she's a cutie? Is it A, pervert, B, demon lord, or C, dog?
Oh
Marcus,
my God, dog. All right, so I'm steering clear of that one. And for the love of God, I need that to not be the right answer. So
I'm gonna blow. No, I got something to tell you after this round is over.
Oh my God.
Oh geez.
Anyways,
I don't know.
I have to go with the time honored demon lord. I got to go with that.
Okay. Sure.
What is it? What's the whole thing? Hitsune.
Hensuki, are you willing to fall in love with in your case, demon lord, as long as she's a cutie?
Okay. So Hitsuki. Is that a girl's name?
Hensuki.
Hensuki.
I don't know if who it refers to.
I'm gonna say it's a girl. So, this chick, she lives in the Bible times, and she's like trying to figure out how to feed her village, but then she gets sucked down to hell, and she wants to get back, but she can't unless she falls in love with the demon lord. That's a girl. But she's like, but I don't like girls. And she's like, you do now. And then that's it.
Okay. Sounds great. Alan, are you willing to fall in love with a blank as long as she's a cutie? Pervert, demon lord, or dog? Okay.
Hensuki, are you willing to fall in love with a pervert as long as she's a cutie? Is about let's switch it up. This college kid, his name's Hensuki, and he's a biology major, and he's in the lab working late, right? And is like hot, so he takes his lab coat off, and he's wearing like a sleeveless shirt, and then he notices this girl through the window looking at him, looking all crazy and licking her lips and stuff. And then he's like, wow, she's a cutie, but she's all perverted.
Okay.
Best first episode ever.
I'm having trouble tonight.
No, I mean, that's about as deep as it needs to go, I think.
That's
what she said.
Let's stop here.
All right. Hensuki, are you willing to fall in love with a pervert as long as she's a cutie? That's the real answer.
I knew it.
Keiki Kiru receives a mysterious love letter that has no name and a pair of panties.
Oh, jeez.
Curious to find this panty-leaving Cinderella, his investigation leads him to discover that every candidate is a total pervert. It's basically Cinderella, but underwear.
Oh my goodness. Try on these panties and we'll
You
live
know
happily
what?
ever after.
I'm okay that I got it wrong. I just really needed it to not be dog.
Okay.
And I win.
I'm going to change. I'm going to scar you for life.
Oh, no.
I watched this movie at a friend's house. It was called Let Sleeping Dogs Lie. It was about this girl who, like, at one point gave her dog a blowjob.
What?
So, no. Okay.
Why is that a movie?
Okay, so here's the story. She's, like, getting married. She's about to get married, and she tells her husband, like, about this. And it's about the whole fallout of after she tells her husband. And, like, her parents, I can't remember if they knew or if they had just found out. But, and, like, everybody just, like, leaves her, and they're so ashamed of her. And it was just the most bizarre.
I would be too.
Yeah, it was just the most bizarre thing ever.
Maybe you really should have done
It had the
sleeping
It
dogs
had the
lie.
guy who was like the. Do you guys watch Dexter? The one captain that Meg, like the older dude who like Meg had her thing with. Is her name
I
Meg?
didn't watch Dexter.
Her name is Meg. No. Yeah.
I think it was Meg.
Was her name Meg?
Pretty sure.
I think it
It's
was.
been so long.
Peg. No.
Not Peg.
God.
Hey, Peg. I'm gonna go kill somebody. Don't tell anyone.
Pig.
No, Peg. I'm just gonna kill this criminal. Anyway. Okay, so Alan, plus 1 point for you.
I think I won the whole
I got
thing.
2 more, but I'm switching them up for the last 2.
Two more.
Yeah, we'll make it quick. All right, so you guys have heard of this anime probably, but I don't know if you know what it's about. So, I want you guys to tell me what the correct title is from this list. Is it A, Fruit Baskets, B, Fruits Baskets, C, Fruits Basket, or D, Fruit Basket? Alan, you go first,
C.
because I know you absolutely do not know.
I'm pretty sure I do know it, and it's C.
Oh, okay. Marcus,
Yeah, he's right.
you're gonna go. Okay. Man, I thought I would stump
Your
you guys on that
reaction
one.
gave it away, but yeah.
What do you mean?
Give me more credit. You said, okay, like,
Okay.
oh, you got it right. Surprise, surprise.
Okay. Surprise, surprise. Did you actually know it though? Like legitimately?
I did.
Fruits Basket.
Fruits basket.
I had a whole quiz show with these types of names, and it was just too much. Maybe I'll revisit that at another time. All right, in the interest of time, I'm just going to jump to the last one. All right, this time I'm going to give you the synopsis, and you're going to give me what you think the title is. But the limiter is the title is 2 words. The first word is a fruit, and the second word is an animal. And you have to guess what it is.
I gotta write this down.
All right, here's the synopsis. Vice City, New York in the 80s. Nature has made Ash Lynx beautiful. Nurture made him a cold, ruthless killer. A runaway brought up as the adopted heir and sex toy of Papa Dino Golzine. Ash now has the rebellious age of 17, forsakes the kingdom held out by the devil who raised him. But the hideous secret that drove Ash's older brother mad in Vietnam has suddenly fallen into Papa's insatiable, ambitious hands, and it's exactly the wrong time for Eiji Okamura, a pure-hearted young photographer from Japan, to make Ash Lynx's acquaintance. ...
Jesus.
All right, so the first word is a fruit, and the second word is an animal. Alan, why don't you, or Marcus, you give me the first. Give me your guess.
Banana fish.
Fish?
All right. Alan?
I was gonna say banana. Let's go with strawberry fox.
You're wrong.
I know.
I played you.
Yeah, you totally did.
What?
I was like, there's no way you just guessed.
Yeah,
It is actually called
It's
banana fish. Alan.
Yeah, I know it. I want to watch it. That's the only reason I know it.
You dirty
Oh
bastard.
man, strawberry fox.
Like it's not
Strawberry
fox,
enough
that
that you
sounds
know like
sexier, though.
infinitely more about anime and manga than me. You gotta dupe me. You gotta play the rope
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, man, because you was crushing me the rest of the game, man. I got to get some points.
All right,
That's
all right,
true.
Fine.
I think I'm gonna still give the win to Alan, and so because he got more.
I mean, yeah, he won the whole game, but I got to get that last one. I got to get one
Gotta
blow
get the
in,
last
you
one.
know? You know?
Yeah.
banana.
have that.
Once you
I
said
don't need
banana,
it.
I was like, man, he knows what it is.
Yeah.
I figured he did too.
I was
I
gonna
was
say
hoping you
banana
wouldn't make-
wolf.
Look, Alan, if he wouldn't have made me go first, I wouldn't have had to lie.
That's true.
And
So
I
it's
could have
AJ's
I
fault.
ripped you for copying off my banana.
Yep.
What were you gonna say? Banana fox?
I was
That
gonna
would've
say
been pretty-
banana wolf.
Oh, okay.
I like
But-
strawberry
Well, that's not-
fox.
Strawberry
it's a
fox.
good-
You should have gone with
good
your
runner-up.
banana hunch. Listen to your banana.
Yep. Banana phone.
Don't do that.
The banana
That
phone's
gets
ringing.
people
Pick it
in
up.
Trouble.
Pick up the banana
Let
phone.
your banana guide you.
Say hello.
Don't. That gets people in trouble these days.
Everything gets people in trouble.
Follow
these
your
days.
nanner.
Think with your melon, not your nanner.
The only thing you need to know is banana for scale.
Banana for scale. All right, let's talk Weathering with You.
Woohoo!
This is I don't have any details on this movie, like who wrote it and whatnot, but most people probably know. Who care?
Was it Makoto Shinkai is the creator?
Yep.
The
Makoto
guy
Shinkai.
who is famous for Your Name most recently. Well, it was the movie right prior to this one. This is his newest film. He also did, 5 centimeters a second, Children of the Quiet Voices, I think it's called.
Silent
Voices. And there's another one that I'm thinking of that I'm not gonna get that he did that I know of.
Children of. Yeah, you know.
Obviously, I don't. If I wasn't able to come
Voices of a Distant Star.
Voices of a Distant Star. Yes, that one.
Children Who Chase Lost Voices. Garden of Words.
I know all of these.
And some other ones. Many. He's a busy guy.
He's busy. He's popular. He does good stuff. So we watched
the Japanese name is Tenki no Ko, literally child of weather, but they called it Weathering with You because for whatever reason, I don't know.
I wonder why they do that. I
don't know. Make it more appealing. Make it more.
Because
It's
it's a
been
double
like
entendre.
American.
The meaning of weathering is different than what they're actually doing, which is controlling the weather.
Is weathering like an actual word?
Yeah, like the slow erosion, like weathered.
Weathering the storm.
Yeah, that too.
Weathering the storm with you, growing with you, learning from our experiences as
Slowly
young children.
eroding down to
The
a
city of
nub.
Tokyo.
That bullshit. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, that bullshit indeed. So I'll give my high level because I'm the only one who saw Your Name.
Yes.
And
Which
so
apparently,
it's-
reading all the reviews and shit, everybody's just like, you should have watched Your Name instead.
Well, you should have. Yeah, it is significantly more interesting. I think the plot kind of falls apart at the end of Weathering with You.
Yeah.
And the art and the animation, like obviously it's really, really good. And if nothing else, watch it for that because there's so many images in this movie that look like a painting that it's just like, I had because I like to watch in a quiet house, so I can't turn the volume up super high. So I had the subtitles on as I was watching the dubs and I turned them off because it was like blocking part of the image. And like the imagery is so good that I don't want to mess it up with ugly ass subtitles at the bottom. We all watched it dubbed, by the way, because Alan's gay for Allison Brie.
Totally.
So, and plus it was cheaper on Vudu to watch it dubbed. I don't know about Marcus because you had to rent it yourself.
I watched it dubbed. I would have done subbed, but like due to things we don't need to get into, I got frustrated, so I just clicked the first thing I saw, which was English subs or English dub. And I'm actually glad for that very reason that I did watch it in dub because it was nice to just look at it because that's what this guy's known for. I mean, I haven't seen I've seen Voice of a Distant Star. I've seen Children Who Chase Lost Voices and something else that he did that I mentioned already before that I can't remember. But anyway, I haven't seen Your Name and I haven't seen Garden of Words, which I know people were going crazy over Garden of Words because of the animation when it first came out because it was really good. So I know that this guy's movies are often associated with like that high level of artwork, not even animation, just because the backgrounds themselves, the pieces that aren't animated, probably are the most impressive things on the screen at any given time. So yeah, I was glad that I just sucked it up, listened to some English. The English was good. There were only a couple voices I really didn't like, but for the most part, I felt like the dubs were great.
Whose voices didn't you like, and why didn't you like them? Tell me.
The main kid, actually.
Oh,
What's
really?
his name? Toby.
Hodaka?
I forget what his name is.
Hodaka?
His name, yeah, Hodaka. Yeah, Toby. They say his name like 8 billion times. I don't know why I couldn't remember it. But yeah, I didn't really like his voice just because like he had that raspy thing going on, like when he's doing the monologue, like she chased after the stream. That's all she wanted to do. Now she believes. I'm like, but it grew on me. It was like it was the opposite of Shinichi in Parasite, where at first I was okay with Shinichi and then I hated his English voice, so I switched. This was the opposite. This was like I didn't like it, but it's like okay, now it's fine.
Well, I'm drawing a blank on Shinichi right now, but
Shinichi sounds like we said he sounded like a young Tony Danza.
Oh yeah.
When he was supposed to be like this nerdy kid.
I think it's coming back to me. I didn't mind Hodaka's voice. I thought it was like relatable. I don't know, or like it felt real. He felt like a genuine person.
Yeah, the voice acting wasn't bad. It was just I didn't like the guy's voice.
Okay.
But like I said, it grew on me. I was fine with it. He did fine. And then like the cop guy, like I didn't like his voice either.
His pompadour added to his ridiculousness too.
I mean, but that was the only thing that was ridiculous about him. I was wondering why they even drew him with a big old pompadour. That was kind of confusing to me.
It's kind of unnecessary, but I don't know. I guess to make him stick out from the other cops.
I guess they were like, this isn't anime enough, so we gotta like make one person with a stupid haircut just because.
You need one pompadour in every movie. I do,
but
now.
Yeah, it was.
I don't.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say after watching Red Line, I need a pompadour in at least one in every movie.
This anime ain't got no pompadour. It's trash.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna start rating them at like out of how many pompadours. 1.
Start watching JoJo's.
0, 1, or 2. That's my rating scale.
I'm gonna remember that when Mob Season 3 comes out. If I don't see no pompadour in there. Oh fuck, there is. One of the
there is a pompadour. I was gonna say
the fitness club. One of those guys has one.
Oh man,
never mind. It passes.
You just got me hyped.
Does anyone in real life have a pompadour? I mean, I'm sure they do.
I might just try it.
People do it on a lark. I mean, there are people in Japan that like cosplay with them all crazy just to. But I don't think anybody rocks one. At least not one like that for real. Like girls will do it as a sort of pinup. They'll do like a small one if they're looking for that pinup aesthetic.
Do you need like a prop, like something in your hair to hold the shape, or
I think it's just a lot of product.
Okay.
Yeah. If you Google pompadour, there's a good selection.
That's what I was just about to do.
You can find them.
Handsome pompadours. Elvis was the original, I guess. But nah, that ain't me.
I need that forward. I need that forward. I need like a canoe sticking out of the top of my head. These are too vertical. I'm thinking more horizontal.
Just straight, like so it's not at an angle at all. It's just straight parallel to the ground.
Yes. That is what I. Oh man, there's some good ones on here.
Hey, Alan, what'd you think of Weathering with You?
I liked it. I liked how it was about child labor.
It was.
What?
Oh shit! It was.
It kind of was. No,
it was.
Kind of was.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a little drawn out, maybe just because it was late and I was trying to get through it. I was just like, but I feel like it didn't need to be like almost 2 hours. The ending, I was just kind of like, all right, whatever. I did like the twist where, spoilers, they.
Spoilers for this whole movie.
Yeah, he brought her back, and then it was just like, okay, well, Tokyo's gonna be underwater, and
Well, they tried to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal. Like the one lady was like, "Yeah, this is how Tokyo used to be 200 years ago."
Well, what do they know? Okay, they don't know any better.
That shit, yeah, man,
Right.
that shit lost me. Like
It lost me too.
I'll say I loved this movie up until that point. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't
Really?
super excited. I wasn't super excited to watch this movie just because like it's weird. This is that brand of movie that as an anime fan, I feel like I have to watch. Like it's like Miyazaki, Hosoda, and Shinkai. Those are like the three guys that it's like, all right, if you're an anime fan, you have to watch one of their films every once in a while. You just have to do it. Because I always say it's not a perfect analogy, but when I try to explain to people what they are that aren't in anime, I'm like, they're kind of Japan's Disney, sort of, where they make these coming of age stories that oftentimes have a supernatural element to it. So I don't get super excited for them because I'd rather watch like a Parasite, which is like this sci-fi horror thing, or Redline, which is just like crazy, ridiculous action. So this, it's like, it's the whole coming of age, like boy meets girl plus supernatural stuff. But the pacing of the movie I liked. It was long, but I enjoyed it because I thought that the writing was really good and witty. The music I liked a whole lot. And then, of course, like the animation and the arc, like the color palettes in these are great. And then on a personal note for me, I've only actually been to Japan once in my life. And it was Tokyo, and it was during the rainy season. So this movie actually hit home for me because it reflected a lot of my experience when I was there. And specifically, the fucking vanilla truck with the song, that shit exists. I saw it and I danced to it in the street.
That's amazing. When I saw that, I was just like, man, Japan is just so unique.
That
to
thing
know that
is
that's
real.
To know that that's real is amazing to me.
Yes, it's real. I danced to it. I took a picture because it had made such an impression on me. So when I saw it on the screen, I paused it and ran and I got my wife and I was like, look at this shit. Like, this shit is real. Like, I saw this.
You don't know. You weren't there, but it's real. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, and like all the characters are super likable and smart. And like I said, the voice acting was good. So I liked it. It pulled me in more so than I thought. But then, the end where it's just like, all right, well, she's a sacrifice, so she has to sacrifice herself so the weather goes back to normal. And then, of course, the kid's going to go like, but I want you. And then I was thinking it was going to do the normal thing that happens in these movies where the two people can't stay together because that's how it normally is.
Yeah, I liked that.
All of these movies.
I liked that it didn't do that. I liked that. And I liked it for all the reasons you just said. Like I was into the story. I liked the characters. It was entertaining and gorgeous to look at. So I was with it. And then I liked the fact that it was like, wow, they said fuck everybody else. And like now Japan is flooded and like people had to move and stuff. For me, it was powerful because it's like for those characters, they're the only ones who knew that's why. Everybody else is just like, oh, it keeps raining, damn it. And like now we got to move. But like for those two characters, it's like they got to live with that. Like that was their choice. It's their fault. They know it. And maybe they're the only ones. Maybe a couple other people know. But I just thought that was cool that they were like, all right, you made your choice and now here's the consequence. They did, but then they kind of weakened it by them not.
They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, well, it was real weak because they like fast forwarded like 3 years and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see her again and it's been 3 years and it's just like, why did you go to all that trouble just to like not see her and be all like calm about it and not it's like you went
go back to your bitch ass town that you ran away from, go to your stupid school and then go back and then be like, what am I gonna say to her? And
like live up to the gravity of the circumstance that you created.
Right.
And then he sees her and like I'm like, all right, dude, you better be dropping on a knee.
Yeah.
Like this better be a big ass moment. And even if you don't do that, like hug her they did hug, but like tell her you love her.
Yeah.
And like look into her eyes deeply and say like it was worth it, then fade to black. It was just like, hi. we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think the last thing he said was,
what
it's going to be all right. And I was just like, oh, come on. And
yeah, seriously.
You mentioned the music. I was bothered by Promare did this too, where like they sync up like a sudden crescendo in music with like some, you know, cheesy line. It was usually cheesy. We're like, I want to be with you forever.
Right. Okay, that stuff I didn't like. It was more the incidental music.
Right. So like that stuff, it was too much cheese for me.
That's kind of his like signature though, because he does that in a lot.
And
of
I don't
his
watch a
movies.
lot of anime like this, so maybe that's just the norm, and you know.
Well, I don't think it's the norm. I think it's just the norm for this particular.
Yeah, Promare kind of did it
Makoto
too,
Shinkai.
though. Like,
no, Promare did it too, and I
cornerly,
ripped on Promare for it.
Yeah, it just feels way too forced, and
because
it always makes me chuckle.
In this, it at least it fits the tone,
right?
Like, I think it's corny and cheesy too, but I'm like, well, what am I watching right now?
Yeah.
You know, like a dude that's like chasing after this girl that he met like a month ago, and will like basically his love is such that he'll drown an entire city just to be with her and say hi to her sometimes. You know, so it's cheesy.
Just to hold her hand.
It's cheesy like that. It's that romance, like heartstring tugger bullshit. Promare wasn't that. Promare is like, y'all bitches fighting dragons with ice.
Yeah.
Like, don't be trying to inspire me. Like, this is just goofy, and that's all it's supposed to be right now. So I kind of give it more of a pass, even though it did lay it on thicker than Promare. But I think it's appropriate that it did, is all. And what I was gonna say too is that like, so with I lost my train of thought. We were talking about it going to the end, and that's when it fell apart for me. Like I wasn't hopeful that they wouldn't be able to be together. It's just that was the logical conclusion for me, because guess what? You don't drown a city just to be with a girl you like.
Well, I didn't feel like they knew that that's the choice they were making, but I liked that was the outcome. I liked that it was like, oh, I mean, like, okay, it's not a happy ending necessarily. It's like,
I
feel like they knew, and I feel like he didn't give a shit.
He totally knew, and that's what kind of where the movie falls apart for me is after after the hotel. They have the hotel, and then they have the fun little romp, and then she, you know, starts to disappear, and then she's gone. After that, the movie completely is just like, okay, so he's committing multiple crimes. And I kept thinking to myself, like, if this was America, this dude would have been shot like 17 times by now.
Yep.
Because like, he's pulling out a gun.
He runs
he's putting
out of a police station. Like, he is deep in, like, he's in like an interrogation room, and he manages to run all the way to the exit of the
gun in hand.
Yes.
No, he didn't have the gun at that point.
Okay, speaking of the gun, how is it?
Shit got real fast, didn't it?
Yeah, but like, he was like, oh, I kept the gun because it brought me luck. It's like, what?
That was stupid. I was like, that of all the things that happened, you find the gun, and that brought you luck.
Maybe if they had like spent more time with like articulating his thought process with like, oh man, everything's like, it's so hard getting started in a new city, and like, oh, everything turned around when I picked up that gun. Like, some other, like, support that argument, you know, when he says, oh, the gun brought me luck. Like, that was just out of the blue, like, curveball.
We have no reason to believe that the gun brought him luck.
And like, what, like 15 or 16-year-old or whatever he is gonna think a gun brings you luck. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty weak and weird for me.
I mean, I guess in a way it did bring him luck, because he was getting his ass beat until he pulled it out on this dude, and then that made.
I mean, that's not really luck though. That's just.
But it was what happened between when he found it and when he pulled it on the guy, right? Because he got the job soon after.
I guess. I don't know. Well, I just have the Wikipedia page up, and apparently when he fired it into the air the first time, he thought it was a toy, but they don't make that very clear in the movie.
Well, I feel like they did. They did it. They mentioned it more.
That he thought it was a toy that before he shot it?
I feel like they did. He says when he finds it, he's like, oh, it's got to be a toy.
Yeah.
But
and then again later, they like the dude. It was like before or after he fires it. He's like, "What is that? A toy or something?"
Well, all right. Here's the idea in my mind. When he said it's got to be a toy, to me that felt like he was trying to convince himself, but didn't really believe it. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, I get that.
And then secondly, if he actually did think it was a toy, what use was it going to do to pull the trigger?
Well, it's a fake out, maybe.
He didn't look like he was faking. Like, all right, I think this toy gun is a toy. I pull the trigger and nothing happens. The dude on top of me thought it was a toy all along too. So I pull the trigger and then what? He laughs, punches me, and beats me to a pulp some more. Like, the strategy just doesn't make any sense.
Well, you don't know that he thinks it's a toy until after you pull it out.
Well, the dude said it, right? The dude said, like, because he gets scared. He pulls it out on him. The dude on top of him is like scared for a split second. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, put that toy away, or it's probably a toy, or he says something like that. And it's at that point where they kind of have the standoff, where it's like, okay, what are you going to do? And the dude wasn't scared anymore until he pulled the trigger. The round went off, missed him, and then he's like, what? And then he's all in shock. And it's like, oh, this kid almost killed me, basically.
I assume he intentionally missed. But
I don't know, because he had his eyes closed, I think, when he pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I think that was...
Oh. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready to do it.
So this one ain't so Disney, really. You know, this one doesn't fit up to my analogy of Japanese.
And getting back to the crime thing, like, I forget her name, Alison Brie's character.
Ina?
No.
Oh,
the older lady.
Asuka?
Natsumi.
Yeah, so like she pulls up, he's on the run, and she pulls up on the bike and just decides to like, yeah, I'm gonna like aid and abet this this criminal and ride him into the sunset and like be proud of myself.
Well, then Suga's trying to stay under the radar to get custody of his daughter, and then he's like, no, I'm just gonna tackle these police officers and threaten them and punch them. And I don't know, like the whole thing just kind of didn't sit well at the end of the movie. It's like, okay, so the kid escapes police, pulls a gun out on a police officer, which in America he'd be dead.
On like 4 police officers.
Yeah,
and they're all just like
going back and forth between like all the different people, like pointing at him. I was like, you would have been.
I'm like, this dude should be
blown
dead.
away.
Been dead, dude. Been dead.
I mean, even in Japan, like I don't know what the I don't know what the cops
if I was a
are
Japanese
like
police
in Japan,
officer,
but like when you're ping ponging back and forth, and like you could squeeze at any minute, like someone's gonna shoot first.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to happen, and this is really dark, but I wanted it anyway. I wanted him to put it on himself, end it, and then wake up next to the girl in the sky.
I wanted the cops to shoot him because that would have been realistic to me. Like he's acting all crazy.
I thought that's where you were gonna go, Marcus, but dang, you took it real.
Yeah,
bad.
I mean it's dark, but it has a happy ending though.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does, because he's with her.
I mean, I guess
happily
the greater
ever after,
good, right?
fucking...
Instead of flooding an entire city and putting a bunch of people out of work and out of house and home.
Yeah, selfish bastard.
One sacrifice for everybody else. If that was
I did like the line. I thought it was a really good line where Suga was like, if one person is all it takes, if one human sacrifice would make the rain stop, nobody would care. Or like, however he said it.
Well, and that's the thing is like that they try to make that a theme like after the fact, like halfway through the movie, it's like, oh, the theme is human sacrifice, and then like it suddenly isn't a theme anymore because they're just like, oh well, he went through this gate and now they're together, and I don't know what the hell happened after that. Like he went through the gate and disappeared, and then he came back to school. They kind of lost me there.
Yeah, they disappeared, went up to the sky, found her. He
grabbed her,
and then grabbed her, brought her back down to Earth. They were found. The cops got him, arrested him. Then he went on probation, got sent back home where he finished school, graduated, and then he came back to Tokyo. And apparently she's just been in Tokyo chilling the whole time.
Yeah. And they like haven't,
and it's still raining.
They haven't spoken or hardly talked. And he's like, he doesn't seem like nervous or excited, or he's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to see her today. It's been 3 years. What a crazy world.
Well, he was kind of nervous because he kind of was putting it off and like asking people like, I don't know, like basically telling people, I don't know what to say to her, which it's like, you love her? Because that's why
the
you
whole
did
thing
all
falls
this shit?
apart. Because it's like the whole thing is that she uses her powers to clear the weather and then banks off of it, which is kind of a dick move. But at the same time, like, so that's your power, but it's making you disappear, and then you disappear. But then he pulls you back, and now it's like, are you normal again? You don't have these powers anymore.
We don't know.
I think they did say she's not sunshine girl anymore.
She's not a sunshine girl. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. The whole thing just it just doesn't play well. Like, it just seems like a messy, like it's cohesive for most of the movie. Like, if you really think about it, like all these characters are kind of assholes. Like, I get the what's her name? Hina trying to take care of her brother, and she doesn't want to lose custody, obviously, even though she's young. And like, they're all trying to help each other out. That I like. That's a competent piece of the story. And even like the interactions with Suga and Natsumi, like those are good because they're both interesting characters. But then like once they go on the run, everything that happens after that, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're on the run. That makes sense. And then they go to the hotel. Everything after that just falls apart. It's like, this movie makes no sense anymore. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And now I'm not enjoying it as much as I wish I was.
It's almost like what should have happened was really like, I wonder if the gun thing even needs to be in the movie. Now that I think about it. That's the thing.
It's like, why they even
what
take
does it even
there?
mean? Because that makes not that I'm against like a dark or serious tone in a movie, because I mean that's what makes things interesting to me. But for this movie specifically, it's like, what do you even gain by like having him have a firearm? Is that just to show his level of dedication, I guess? But imagine you don't have that. The police aren't chasing him. None of that. He still gets saved in the beginning by Suga, which is how he like makes that connection. Gets the job, works it, gets the side hustle with Hina doing the water shit,
Sunshine.
rain shit. Yeah, sunshine girl stuff.
So she's a sunshine girl, and she can make the rain. She can make the sun come out. It's been raining forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just for people who don't know, because we're talking about this shit and we haven't really, laid the set the scene.
This is true
necessarily, but
this is true. You should watch the movie first and then listen to this.
Too late.
But too late.
You should have known that when you started the episode.
Yeah.
Sorry.
On we go. We push onward. Anyways, you can have all that stuff without the gun or the violence, and then still have her being the sacrifice at the end, because that's where the true drama comes from. The fact that he found this girl and they made each other happy and gave each other a new lease on life, but now just to find that he's going to lose her, he makes the sacrifice to keep her, even though I think it's a dumb ending. Like, Tokyo can still drown and you don't need the whole police thing. So you can have the whole movie just go up until the point before they decide to get a hotel because they're on the run.
Yeah, it was like they needed a climax. Like, they realized they didn't have a climax, so they kind of shoehorned one in there. We're like, oh, we'll have this chase scene and he'll be running up the building and the police and the gun and then.
But like you said, like, you can do all that without the gun. Like, the gun adds nothing to the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
other than like, oh, we found a gun. Okay, well, so technically he's a criminal from the day he finds the gun, because guns are highly illegal in Tokyo. So. I mean, so now he's just a criminal on the run. I guess that's why he needs. I take that back.
The gun is there
because there is the element.
But what I'm saying is, you don't even need him running from the police. Fuck that. Like, why is that a part of the story at all? Like, you could trim the movie. Could be like 90 minutes long, not have the gun part, not have the police part. He still meets Suga that gets him the job. Still meets Hina and her brother. They're living alone by themselves illegally, and they shouldn't be.
Because the cops were looking for him anyway.
Yeah, because he's a runaway.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I guess it wasn't enough that he was a runaway. Isn't there another aspect of the gun? Like, it's somebody else's gun, and they tracked it to that he had
and they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, they didn't.
That's true.
The cops were like, "Oh, this is some yakuza." I assume it's a yakuza guy because I guess I'm racist. But like some criminal, they assume it's his gun, and so they're like, "How did he get his gun?" And then we don't know who that person is, even.
Yeah,
that they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you can, like I said, you can have all of that stuff without the gun. And then, like, now that I think about it, the gun was kind of interesting to me, but now it's not. Now it's more just like edgelord stuff. Like, they just put it in there to make it seem more serious than the whole thing.
Yeah, to have the drama.
Yeah, and that's not even what the story was about. It was about your typical lovey-dovey, coming of age. Isn't youthful love a great thing? Sort of movie.
So we've picked apart the things that we didn't like.
Yeah, that's more fun to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Fine.
We've shared what we
All
liked
right.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the art and the pacing was good. The
I liked all the
voiceovers
characters.
were good.
I liked all of them.
What do you guys think of that McDonald's commercial?
Oh, I love the fact that this movie had so much actual product.
Yeah, it had
placement.
a ton of branding.
Like the movie, that was Tokyo. What you saw,
Right?
Like it wasn't a fact. Well, of course it's a facsimile. It's not the real thing, obviously. But like that's what Tokyo looks like. So there were buildings in there and like the parts of town, I forget what they're called, but like they're not neighborhoods. They have some specific name that I'm blanking on right now. Like they had all of that stuff in it, and there are places that if you live in the city or if you've been there before, you are like, I know where that is. And so that was cool to me. Like it was the one time I wasn't pissed about actual product placement. Because usually in anime, you don't get like a real reflection of what the actual world is like. So that
I just thought it was funny when she gave him like this perfect Big Mac, and he was like, "This is the greatest dinner."
All right, can we talk about the food? The food in this movie looked so amazing.
Yeah, Big Macs don't look that good in real life, and let me tell you something. They don't taste that good over in Japan.
No, like
it's not one of the things they do well over there.
When he opened it, it like puffed up a little bit, like it had been pressed down slightly, and it just like puffed up, like I'm the freshest, most delicious Big Mac ever. But like when she made him lunch with the rice and the egg and all that stuff, I was just like, man, I want to eat some Japanese food.
Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah, that ramen looked good, and it made me think about that Japanese for real ramen. Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah,
anime food has come very far in the last 10 years. It just looks amazing.
Yeah,
there's so many anime that have really good looking food.
Yeah,
and
true.
It just makes me hungry every time I see it.
It's true. Yeah. Can we talk about how really this movie was just an excuse for them to draw water really good?
Yeah,
they
the
really should have just called.
Were amazing. They didn't really do anything with the water fish thing.
Nope, that's another thing.
Yeah, another loose end. They like.
That's like the first scene of the movie. It's like, is that a fish?
And then like at one point it's on the news, so it's like people know about it. It's common, or like it's open knowledge that people are seeing these little fish creatures in the raindrops, but they don't do anything with it.
Yeah, and then at one point, so there's this weird phenomena that almost killed him when he was on the boat ferrying over to Tokyo from the island, the smaller island that
and then those two people in the alley, those two randos.
Yeah, they're like, look at it. See, I saw it. And it's basically, there's this shield where all of the rain is accumulating and just hovering in the air. And then for some inexplicable reason, it just falls and a big deluge of water just splashes. And that happened twice in the movie. And we don't know why. And then there was another instance where they were showing that thing and what looked like a big water golem thing appeared for like a split second. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's the final boss of the movie where they love each other so much that the monster's like, but I need you to do water shit, bitch. And then so they just do, so they have to fight him so they can love each other eternally, because if they don't beat him, then she'll go away or something, and everybody will be sad.
It could have been like they were talking about the spirits become imbalanced or whatever, like there's a price, but I guess that just fed into the human sacrifice. angle.
And then they had that big water dragon showing up too, and
Yeah.
like I don't know, all these water creatures, and they didn't really. I guess you could maybe make an argument that they represent like the takeover of rain and water, like.
Well, they kind of explained
giant beings.
They laid the myth out at one point, and they said one of them's a dragon and one of them's a something else.
And then the water girl has to sacrifice herself. Yeah.
So they kind
that.
of explain it, and maybe it's one of those
Kind
things
of.
that if you're more informed about Shintoism
Yeah.
and how that is interweaved into contemporary Japanese culture, maybe you don't need that explained to you so much. Maybe there's like cultural significance there.
We're dumb
that,
Americans, damn it. Spell it out.
Yeah.
Big old letters.
If you don't put a gun and a fucking Big Mac in the movie, I can't watch it.
That's the American appeal. How can we appeal?
All I want to know is why
Guns
he didn't
and
shoot
Big
the
Macs.
Big Mac.
Why wasn't he holding his gun when he was eating?
If he
that
would have
Big Mac?
took the gun out when he bought the Big Mac,
Everybody knows a Big Mac tastes better with a gun in your lap. America.
if he would have bought a Big Mac when he was running from the cops and then said, "Don't shoot, I got a Big Mac," America. I didn't know where that was going.
All right. So,
There was several times in the movie where I was like, he's gonna get shot if this was America, and he didn't. And
Yeah.
I couldn't get that out of my head like the whole time I was watching. I was like, "No, that wouldn't
you
happen
can't
in America."
this year, can you? Like it's
No,
just
you can't.
it's just a fucking weird year to watch a lot of things, man. Like I'll
Yep,
just be on
that's true.
Netflix and I'll be like, watching this scene feels a little bit different now.
It
Like
does,
that happens
yeah.
to me all the time. It's so crazy.
Stupid year.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad we watched it. I liked it. Apparently two of the two main characters from Your Name make appearances, so I have to definitely watch it now since they show up.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one.
You didn't?
I have to go back.
Yeah, I read it. I read about it like before I finished the movie. So when they
just like walking
when
by.
they showed up, I knew it was them. I hadn't seen the movie, but just the way that they presented these characters, I'm like, all right, that must be the guy and that must be the girl. So the guy was he was the grandson of the lady that hired him for their grandfather's for her husband's.
Okay. I stepped away for a second when that whole scene started playing out, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" Because I got confused.
So I'm pretty sure that's the guy from Your Name, and I think the chick from Your Name is the woman he bought the ring for Hina.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, he bought it
I
from
think
her.
you're probably maybe right. I don't know. I'd have to go back and remember what those characters look like.
Yeah, it's just it's the way that they introduced them.
she had a name tag. I remember reading the lady's name tag at the jewelry store. It was like Mia Mazi or something, or Mia Mizu.
Okay, yeah, you're right. A character from Your Name works at a jewelry store, and then a character from Your Name is Fumi's grandson.
Yeah. Because they just paid a little bit too much attention to him when he walked on the screen. And I was like, all right, this dude is somebody important. And then when he was at the shop
He was
buying the
super
ring
friendly.
for the chick, her face was covered at first. And I was like, why are they not showing what this lady looks like? And then they showed half of her face, and then they showed her whole face. And it's like, all right.
But I don't think they were the main characters.
Maybe you
though.
might be right. Like I said, I haven't seen the movie, but
It's been a while since I've seen it. I need to rewatch it. It's pretty good.
I mean, apparently that's what everybody was saying. Two of the reviews that I saw were like, one guy said, the worst thing about this movie is that it came out after Your Name. And I'm like, man, people really suck Your Name's junk pretty hard.
Now I gotta watch it.
Everybody's just all pissed that it's not Your Name. It's like the dude's allowed to make other movies. Jeez.
You can't all be
One guy called it
bangers.
One guy called it methering with you. Get it?
Roast
pretty
in the-
good.
It's good, but I think it's more than a meh. It's
more than a meh.
fun.
Yeah,
it's good, but
it's
not
a fun
great.
watch.
I would watch it again, probably. Just because it looks so good, and even though it falls apart at the end, like I
would
enjoy
watch
it.
I
like
think
the
with a
first
better-
hour again, maybe.
Yeah, I think with a better ending, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
because I loved all of it so much. Before the end was stupid. Oh, and speaking of stupid stuff, let me bring up just one other stupid thing that happened. So after like the super flood happens, stupid Suga is in his office looking out the window, and his window is like half of it underground.
I thought it was
I know,
gonna break,
so-
and then his stupid ass just opened it and like knocked a bunch of
Yeah,
books.
so he sees the window is like, it looks like a fucking aquarium because like his entryway is underground. Like you have to walk down steps to get to the door, so he could see that the window is like halfway submerged with water. And then he's just like, and then opens it, and then the water spills in, and he's just like, it's even worse because he expected it to happen, and he was just kind of like okay with it. So I was like, why do you do that? Am I missing something? Does this have some significance that I don't know about? Is that like a Japanese thing? Like you see water outside the window, you got to
He
open
didn't have
that
long
shit?
enough
Like-
hair to cut it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was funny. I didn't really understand that.
Yeah, I
but
was just like, all right.
it was fun. It was probably just for comic relief, but yeah. What? The
I mean,
hell
it wasn't
dumb.
even funny though. It was just confusing.
Yeah. Why would you open a window that's filled with water and just let it all pour?
I
in?
mean, this is
I thought a lot more was gonna pour in, but I guess that he was just under whatever was filled into his little cubby hole. But yeah, it was funny. Not in a funny way.
yeah. It was just like what? It was almost like if you saw a person with an egg in their hand, and then they looked at the floor, and then they just slowly turn their hand over, and so the egg falls on the floor, and then they look at the egg and go, "Yep."
Yep, that happened.
just like I thought. All right, so we liked it, but we ripped it.
We liked
We
it, but
ripped it
there's
pretty
there's some problems. But overall, I'd recommend it for people to watch. It's fun enough. It's damn sure pretty enough to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Watch it. You probably won't love it.
Don't watch
Maybe
your
you
name
will.
first.
I don't know.
If you haven't seen either of them,
Yeah, I guess I'm glad I watched this before I watched Your Name.
Yeah,
So now I can
I
go
gotta
watch
go
that.
watch Your
and-
Name now.
Yeah, and if it's not as good as everybody's saying, like I'm coming to all the y'all's houses.
Yep.
Not y'all,
One at a
but
time.
like everybody else.
I think Your Name's a little more cohesive. I gotta rewatch it though. It's been a while, and then do the actual comparison. But yeah, I mean, this movie's it's good enough. It's good enough.
All right, I think we might be able to keep this episode under an hour if we stop right now.
Ooh.
Should we?
So yeah. So how about we wrap it up?
I think we're good. I think we hit all the high notes. Check us out on Twitter at Brokotaku, at BrokotakuCast. Check us out on YouTube, Brokotaku. Twitter, I already said Twitter. I post anime deals, and I post about Morgan's Last every time I do this because I'm so bad at it. Just write down whatever the thing is.
Start over.
No. Okay.
Why is this the Brokotaku podcast? Because Brokotaku.com is the reason we're here. Go get some anime on the cheap. You're welcome.
If you guys like anime deals and you want to save a couple dollars on Weathering with You, go to Brokotaku.com and search for Weathering with You. And then listen to the Brokotaku podcast and follow us on Twitter at Brokotaku and at BrokotakuCast. Check us out on iTunes and
YouTube,
Google Play, whatever they're on, and Spotify and any of those other.
Stitcher, wherever podcasts are garnered. You can find us there.
And YouTube too. We're on
We
YouTube.
got-
Put all the episodes up
We
on
got
YouTube.
outtakes on
It's
YouTube
great.
too. They're kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah, I gotta start doing some more of those. But that takes a lot of effort.
And we've been listening, fans. We've been taking suggestions on new things we should watch. So next episode, we're going to take one of those suggestions and we'll see what we think about what you guys like.
Is that Boogie
Stay
Pop?
tuned. Shut up. Don't tell them.
Sorry, it's not Boogie. It's not.
Hey, stop it.
I didn't say anything.
You're ruining everything.
Cut it. Shut it down.
Thanks for listening. We love you.
Weathering with you was good until the end. I don't
You
know
don't
why
need a gun.
to run from the
make-
cops.
All you gotta do is run away from home.
Otaku should have been shot about 5 times over. Japan is underwater. Not all of Japan, just Tokyo. 3 years later, and it's not that important that he's seeing this girl that he buried Tokyo underwater for. No big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Well,